Hi, this is Dan Heister. Just creating a video. I was curious about what your response would be when I share this with you about this. I'm a trombone player, and I have a carbon fiber trombone here. I've had it for, well, I've had it in playing mode for about 2 months now. Just love it. I love it because it's so light and it's so I don't know. It just plays well. It's fun to play, and I haven't had an instrument like this in probably 30 years of playing. But what I wanted to tell you about this, not just that I have a carbon fiber instrument, it's that it's not one that I purchased per se. It's one that I built. All the brass parts are part of my older horn. It was a 42 Bach 42 large bore, great symphony horn, real dark sound. Over here is my original brass bell, and I still have it. I didn't have to destroy any of my horn uh, to make this. I was able to make it in different phases, but um, anyway, this has my straight receiver on it, the gooseneck here, and you can switch them in any combination you want to. If you just want to use the F attachment with the brass or with this one, however, whatever configuration you want. This is all the whole horn carbon fiber except for the slide, and the F attachment's got a few brass parts. Anyway, really quickly, just want to describe to you what this is. This was all handmade. I made it myself, and the reason why I even started this about a year ago, started thinking because I didn't think I'd be able to play again because of my arm. I've got really bad elbow problems with when I play, and after good 10 minutes of playing, I have to put the horn down and leave it alone for the rest of the day because it gets to hurting so bad. That was with my older instrument, the full brass instrument. And when you have a full symphony horn with the F attachment, it's a very heavy instrument, and it's very hard to hold it up for long periods of time, especially if you're doing solos and stuff like that. So anyway, I thought I've got to do something, and a friend of mine told me about carbon fiber, and he said, "Have you ever seen a carbon fiber trombone?" And I said, "No, I hadn't." And he said, "Well, check it out on Google. Just Google carbon fiber trombone and see what you find." And I did. I looked up, and there were two main companies in the research that I did. Uh, One of the biggest ones and best ones that I've seen online that make carbon fiber trombones specifically is Butler Trombones, and they're based in Dallas, I believe. Um, I've never had an opportunity to play one, but everything I hear and people that own them just love them. They just love the instrument. The thing about carbon fiber is that it's the weight of it is a fraction of the weight of a brass instrument, and that's the part of it that's is appealing to people like me that have issues with holding weight like that for long periods of time or have tendonitis. Um, Especially bass trombone players, they just have a lot of trouble holding a trombone up for any period of time. These are a great alternative instrument because they're much lighter, but they maintain the quality of sound that you need when you're playing, especially in symphony. The tone, uh, you still get the same tone uh, for the most part. There's some things that are not quite as brilliant as a brass bell makes, but pretty darn close. So it's a good alternative. It's certainly for solo work. I love this horn. It's as good as to me personally. I used to play a Con 88H, which is a great solo instrument. Uh, it was a good symphony horn too, but I really liked it for its mellow sound. This has a really nice mellow sound like a Con 88H. It's a little bit mellower sounding than like my Bach 42, which is really, it's got a very loud, dark sound, which is perfect for symphony playing. Wouldn't want to use this particular bell Wagner stuff or big brass sounding stuff, you wouldn't want to use this. Personally, I wouldn't. That's why I still have my brass instrument when I need it. What's nice about it though is I made this in different phases. Let me just show it to you real quick. Um, Again, this horn can be converted to many different types of things. You can take the F attachment completely off and switch it to the straight gooseneck, and it makes it even lighter. This is just the slide here, and the inner slide is the Bach 42 slide. It used to be. It's still the one I've had for many years, and it's a very good instrument. It's just too heavy. But when I saw how people could make carbon fiber parts, again, Butler trombones is, from what I'm told, are just fantastic. One of these days I'll have an opportunity to try one, and just see what the difference is. But I know for what I made, if mine is as good as this slide is, if Butler's trombones are better, and I'm sure they are, this is a fantastic slide. I'm sure Butler's are just out of this world, but the weight of it is just unbelievable. The freedom of the slide is it's like nothing else you've ever tried. So it's a fun slide to play on. It makes it easier to play. The one thing I had to get used to is the weight differential. I'm used to having, throwing a slide out and feeling the resistance or the holding the slide because of the weight. This doesn't have that. It's like playing an air band instrument where you're not really holding an instrument. It's that light. It feels that light, but it moves so freely that it makes it effortless. So because it's so light, but the function of it, there's something about it. It just slides so much better than metal on metal, and so I love that. But anyway, I made this slide. This was the first part of the horn that I made. I just I took my 42 and made the slide, and I honestly, I did not copy anybody else. I just saw how to make carbon fiber, and I thought, I think I could do that. So I bought some tubing. You could buy the tubing pre-made, and I wanted to do that because it's already perfectly straight tubing. If I had tried that by myself, I don't think I could have been as straight with this part of it. But this part, the crook, I made that. I used a 3D printer and made a plastic mold of the crook, and then I used some carbon fiber sleeve to put over it, and I used epoxy and made that the fiberglass crook on there. And then I just ordered some water key parts on Amazon and put that on there. It's not the most handsome looking, but it's not bad considering it's my first try at it. But I 3D printed a brace, and it's all using a special epoxy that adheres to the stuff like nothing else. But it's very strong, but it's super light. There's just no weight to it. Anyway, I made that first, and I thought, I'm just going to try it and see how it works. Blown away. I put it on my normal brass trombone, and this is the slide I use. It's all the time now because it's a slightly mellower sound than the brass one, but it's not enough to decide not to play it because it still sounds incredible. The beauty of it is it's so stinking light. It makes the difference. Even on my brass bell, it really makes a difference. So that's what I started with first, and I thought I'd be happy with that. And then I got thinking, when I go to play my symphony horn, this F attachment is so heavy. And the other one I had, and it was an open wrap just like this one, but this is a removable F attachment here. but so I can swap them out. But I can take it off part here. Now this I went ahead and purchased a new valve here by Instrument Innovations. Is where I bought all the saddle here for that. I had to pay some money for that. Honestly, it was the most expensive part of all this, but it very nice. Works really smooth. It's a regular rotary valve, but the way it's designed is it flows better. I actually prefer it over even a the cone-shaped uh, valves that are so popular. Um, anyway, but I made all the piping for the F attachment, so it's even lighter because of that. Took all that piping away. Even made the tuning slide with that. So that made it even lighter, and I can play this and the carbon fiber slide with the brass bell and still have a very dark, bright, a dark, well-rounded sound that you want in symphony playing. Now, when I want jazz or brighter sound, I take the F attachment off and I use the carbon fiber with just the slide and straight gooseneck, and it makes a great solo jazz trombone. It's a little bit mellower than the bright small bore horns, but I really like it for soloing and stuff like that. And I really like that it's so light. But anyway, that's the story behind carbon fiber. Making it, I just had the idea, I think I could make it. I'd seen some stuff on how to make 3D parts, and I didn't have the equipment to do all the, you know, infusion and different types of techniques for making carbon fiber. But I certainly didn't have the machine to make a mold except for my 3D plastic. And I could make the same shape, but because of the shape of this, to make a conventional mold, where you have two pieces, it just was going to be way too pricey financially to pay for equipment like that, which is the whole reason I wanted to try this to see what I could do. And then I just researched on YouTube some DIY people that make carbon fiber parts, and I realized I probably could do this by hand without using a conventional mold. I did make a plastic mold that I covered that was the same shape, but I didn't have to do all the stuff where you seal it, and so it's probably in terms of the quality of it, it's not going to be as good as Dave Butler's horn, or even DeCarbo is another company that makes them, because they're using conventional methods, which is a much more compressed version. I can't do that with this, but is it good enough to get what I want? And my answer is yes. It works really well for me. But anyway, the whole reason I'm sharing this is that I want to see if I can get some feedback from you all. If you all would be interested in this, if there's an interest in building the 3D parts, 3D printing parts, like I did with this and the crook and this stuff and the mold that I made for the bell. Uh, if you would be interested in something like that to try yourself, I'm trying to see what the interest would be on for you all that are DIYers that can build your own stuff and have shops that you can work with. If you'd be interested in something like that, I really would like to have some feedback on that. So let me know in the area below. Leave a comment. Really would love to hear what y'all think. And if you have any questions about this, let me know. Let me play a little bit of this so you can hear it. So it plays really well. I really like the sound of it, and hopefully I played well enough there you can hear what it sounds like. Um, Let me know what you think. Love to hear from you. Thank you, and hopefully hear from you.